Have you ever thought about what it truly means to see God, to gaze upon His face, to behold His infinite beauty? It's a thought that stirs something deep within us, and yet there's a tension. In Exodus chapter 33 verse 20, God says to Moses, "You cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live." How do we reconcile this? On one hand, Jesus promises, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." On the other, the very sight of God is said to be too glorious, too overwhelming for any human being to survive. But maybe, just maybe, this is the answer. Maybe to see God truly is to die. When God spoke to Moses, He wasn't withholding Himself out of cruelty. His holiness, His perfection, His glory is so radiant that the sinful, self-centered heart cannot survive in its presence. To see God is to encounter a beauty that annihilates everything that is unworthy in us. It's to come face to face with the weight of His infinite being. But then Jesus comes and speaks this radical promise, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Not someday, not just in eternity, but even now. How is this possible? How can the God who said, "No one may see me and live," now invite us to behold Him? The answer is Jesus. When Jesus died on the cross, He didn't just bear our sin. He made a way for us to be purified, to have our hearts cleansed of everything that keeps us from seeing God. The death that is required to see Him is no longer a physical one. It is a death to ourselves. The pure in heart are those who have allowed Christ to strip them of their pride, their ego, their attachments to the things of this world. It's a heart that has died to its own desires and lives entirely for Him. And in that death, this promise is fulfilled. We see God. Do you see it? To truly see Him is to die, not physically, but spiritually. The self must fade, the me must fall, so that the heart can behold Him without distraction. That's why Jesus said, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself, pick up his cross and follow me." It is the heart surrendered, the heart purified by Christ that can behold the face of God and live. Think of Moses for a minute. He stood on the mountain, desperate to see God's glory. But even Moses, the great prophet of Israel, could only glimpse the back of God as he went by him. Yet now through Jesus, we are invited not only to see the edges of His majesty, but to behold Him as a child looks upon his father. The pure in heart don't just see God, they live in His presence. They walk in a reality that Moses could only dream of. And yet to live this way requires a letting go, a dying to everything that is not of Him. What's keeping your heart from seeing God? Is it pride, fear, the distractions of this world? Whatever it is, know this: the vision of God is worth any cost. To see Him is to find life itself, but only by losing yourself in Him. When God said, "No one may see me and live," He wasn't declaring a limitation. He was declaring a mystery. To see Him requires a death, yes, but not a death of destruction. It's a death of liberation, a death of all that separates you from Him. The pure in heart, cleansed by the blood of Jesus, have already died. They've died to themselves, they've died to their pride, they've died to the distractions of this world. And because of this, they now live for God. And in that living, they see Him, not with their eyes, but with their heart. Not as a distant God, but as a beloved Father. So I ask you today, is your heart pure? Have you allowed Him to strip away everything that would stop you from seeing Him? If not, lay it down. Let the blood of Jesus wash you clean. And in that purity, you will not just see God, you will behold Him. You'll live in the light of His presence, and you'll know the joy of being fully His. Blessed are the pure in heart, blessed are those who have seen Him and live, for they have first died to themselves. Will you die to yourself today, that you might truly see Him?